Yep.
So is this the team's first game, or are you guys from other developer?
So our first game was on the iPhone. It was called Wrestling Manager, and that's like a game where you're like Vince McMahon kind of character.
Okay.
You start your own company, your own wrestling promotion, and then you it's kind of like FIFA's Ultimate Team, where you download, like, you get a pack of cards and that starts as your roster, and then you've got to build the best roster you can, and like, you know, you start off in the backyard and you build your way up to Madison Square Gardens and sign TV deals and pay-per-view deals and all that kind of thing.
So 5-star was a natural progression from that, went from managing to getting your hands dirty. Right?
Well, we kind of we set the company up to build 5-star wrestling, but we knew it would take time to get the right kind of team in place. So in order to do that, while we was waiting, we was like, right, you know what? 5-star wrestling is a huge game. Why don't we try something a little smaller? And then we went crazy and made Wrestling Manager really big and complicated too. So that was a bad idea, but it turned out well in the end. And Wrestling Manager is something that's very near and dear to our hearts, and we hope to get it. Like, now we've created the manager game, and this time around we've created the full 3D engine thing part of it. So now if we can put the two together, that would be great down the line for us. So maybe one day.
I can clearly see that a lot of the roster is heavily inspired by some other folks. You don't have any concerns about WWE maybe having some concerns.
Heavily inspired? I have no idea what you mean. I mean, like, seriously?
I say crazy things all the time.
Look, we're just huge fans.
Clearly,
you know, I mean, like, I hope that that's not the case. We are
So do I.
parody. We're very clear with all the people all the time.
Certainly within.
Yeah. We're always telling people we're not affiliated with, like, any real wrestlers or you know, any promotion. This is not backed by anything. It's just a parody. And, like, the wrestling industry is built on parody. I mean,
That is true.
WrestleMania is featuring Sting versus Triple H. Sting is the Crow from the Crow movies. You know, I mean,
like ripped right out of the Crow.
yeah, sure. And we have RVD, we have HRVD, and RVD is clearly a parody of Jean-Claude Van Damme, right? So
Johnny Maivia has nothing at all to do with.
nothing to do with him, man. Nothing. So you can.
It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. And you guys actually wrestle formally?
Yeah. One of our guys is actually training down at ICW in Glasgow right now. One of our programmers. He's a really good guy. He's been working on the game almost from the beginning of the project.
Wow.
He's the guy that's responsible for, like, handling how moves work in the game and things like that. So, and you know, I trained when I was younger for a very little period of time, but it's something I always wanted to do, and I read a lot about it, and you know, I'm always talking to wrestlers. We've got a lot of wrestling friends, so we consulted with a lot of people on this. We even got Diamond Dallas Page to come by and spend some time talking about things. He's such a great guy, such a really nice guy.
Doing that yoga.
Yeah, he's saving people's lives with that thing.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty good. I bought it for my cousin, actually.
Right. Well, I mean, like, DDP's been fantastic for us, and he was, like, telling us about, like, how he managed to get the Diamond Cutter over as the biggest move, and it was because it came from everywhere. Like, the guy could do the move out of any single position going.
Really could. The ropes, outside, it was versatile.
He would turn one guy's finisher into another guy, into his own finisher, and, like, it was just amazing when he was doing it. And Randy Orton's taken it the same kind of direction, and you can tell why it's such a popular move. And then, of course, we've got, like, Raging Andy Organ, and he too can do the move from, like, as many different positions as you can imagine. I think we've got 30 different versions of the move in the game, including, like, from all the different finishes in the game, and from the top corner, from the ropes. He'll throw them up in the air, he'll catch them. From just standing here like this, you know, he's got it from everywhere. And then on top of that, he's got, like, the punt kicks as well. When he's, you know, I'd have done it then if I'd have still had the finishing move kind of thing. So yeah, what was your original question again?
I don't remember. Tony, how do you feel after that move?
What, that move?
Well, the one where he slams you, and his timing was perfect. How do you feel?
for our listeners who's familiar with how I feel about these games.
All right. I'm certainly a big. I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I'm a fan of. There's some wrestling games that are some of my favorite games of all time. So, and the control scheme from when I played it, Tiny beat me rather quickly. I like that it kind of harkened back to sort of the N64 Aki kind of thing, where you have the reversal for the punches, reversal for the moves.
Yeah,
I like your analog implementation of the grapple. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, well, it was a way of getting in so many different moves, all in like one control scheme. Because we got more moves in this game per wrestler than any other wrestling game ever made, and we needed a control scheme that was robust enough to do that. So, like, you flick up on the stick and you do a DDT, and you flick down on the stick and you might do something else entirely, and then you hold like a modifier like R2 and flick the stick again and you do another move. It's just so simple. It's like one flick of the stick and there's your move. And the idea there is it's deeper than that, because it's about the reversal system. Like, wrestling fans are always saying that wrestling games are just reversal after reversal after reversal. And we've got some of the best reversals around. We've got finisher reversals.
Wow.
And they're like key moment reversals. But we didn't want the entire game to be about reversals. So, like, we tried to cut it down by having the analog control scheme allows so that every single move is just done by the push of the stick. And that means wrestlers only get one attempt to reverse. So, like, if you imagine the WWE games, if you wanted to do a back grapple on a guy that's standing face to face with you, you have to grab him, turn him round, and then do the move. Well, that's 3 different inputs. In our game, you press R1 and flick the stick, and the guy does it all in one fluid motion, and then it's just a simple case of like one reversal per move, as opposed to 3 attempts at reversing per move.
So how many the roster? How many wrestlers will there be to choose from? Will there be unlockable wrestlers as well?
So we have 8 wrestlers at launch, which we know is kind of small, but the reason we kept it small is because we wanted all the little intricate details about all these wrestlers. So, like, Curtis Angel, our guy, will do his finishing move like off the top rope. When there's a guy just standing there, he'll just jump up and do the Uncle Slam. He'll do the ankle lock, and when he's tired, he'll do it like down on one knee. When he's not tired, he'll do it standing and try and get extra leverage. And then when he's really mad at you and he's trying to finish the match, he'll grapevine the leg and lay it down. He can do it out of reversals from the crossface, so he can go crossface to ankle lock. It's just a huge, huge game with so much intricacy. But the only reason it's like that is because we kept the roster tight. If we'd have gone for like a 50-man roster, we could have had like maybe 30 moves per character or something. Instead, we've got like nearly 180 moves. It's insane.
And it's coming out on the PS3?
This is on the PlayStation Network via the PS3 in about 3 weeks' time. We're shooting for around WrestleMania time.
It's like fun. I like wrestling games. I'm not really a big fan of the WWE wrestling games. So
Well, I love the WWE wrestling games. I'm a huge fan. They're the reason that I got into this thing. But at the same time, I've spent my entire life wanting to see things that they've never really had. Like our limb damage system, where you can work the guy's leg, just like how Bret Hart worked the guy's leg, or how Kurt Angle or Ric Flair worked the guy's leg, and then they would go for the move and they would miss. I mean, like, if you watch a classic match like The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania, you'll see like Shawn Michaels work the Undertaker's leg the entire time. And the reason he does that is so that when The Undertaker goes for a choke slam, his knee buckles and he can't get the choke slam out properly. Or when he goes for the tombstone, he hurts himself again and he stays down tired. We've got all that. That's the kind of stuff we've got that no other wrestling game's really done before properly. And I think wrestling fans are going to love it. I've seen them play it here for the last 2 days straight. We've had like guys on this machine solid, and the feedback's been fantastic. I think everybody's just really looking for the next wrestling game.
I guess I'll just ask you one question and I'll let you go. What are your thoughts on Brock winning last year at WrestleMania?
I love it.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right.